What's up, poker players? Hope you guys are out there killing it on the tables. Had a marathon of a session last night. Put in over 7,000 hands for a win total of $3. But I did solidify a spot on the Beast leaderboard, which was what I was going for. Should get a $100 bonus this week for my spot on the leaderboard. So you could technically say that I won $103 during this session. But I think we played some good poker. We have a lot of interesting things to look at. Let's jump right into it. First off, look at this total graph. That is what we like to see. Still on the incline, moving up there, not quite at our highest point. Leveled off a little bit over the last tens of thousands of hands, but it looks like it's still on a steady incline. Nothing to be worried about. Just keep putting in that volume. We are currently up a total of 11,227.3 big blinds. That is 112 plus buy-ins. Not bad. If we were playing all of these hands at a 100 NL table, that would be $11,000 plus dollars. Back to the session. We are going to start it off with what I think wasn't the worst play. I put in a big bluff that didn't go through, and I remember playing it at the time, and I really want to go back and look at it because I thought I put it in a good spot, but we wound up running into a big hand that was not going to wind up folding. This isn't a play that I usually put in, but I thought it was appropriate for the situation. So we have an open raise. We're playing heads up against a loose player. We get an open raise from the button, and we 3-bet with ace-4, and we get a call. Flop is king high two-tone, two spades out there. We have backdoor straight and flush draws. King high board is pretty dry, but it goes check on the flop. The turn is the 9 of spades. We now are one card from a spade draw, but that is really about it. We have zero value in this hand. I bet 11-20, and we just get a call. And when I just get a call here, I'm assuming that this player has a pair less than a king or has some kind of draw going into the river. When we get a deuce of hearts on the river, that connects with zero hands. So I decide to check back, seeing that this player bets 67% of rivers in heads up play, which is a very, very large amount of rivers. My plan was to induce a bluff from misdraws and have hands that would try to get thin value on the river but not call an all-in jam to bet here on the river since this player bets so wide. So I check back and I get the bet of $18. To me, that looks absolutely perfect. Less than half pot, not a very strong bet. The pot is 60, this player has 60 behind. If I jam all in, representing a made flush or a made straight since I bet on the turn, or any hand better than this player's bluff range and pair lower than the eights, it doesn't really matter what I have as long as I can get this player to fold hands like that. But little did I know that this player hit a set. It was a very interesting play. He slow played it all the way pretty much through the river, and I played perfectly into it. It worked out amazingly for him. So I jam in, thinking I'm going to get a fold from a huge percentage of his range here. But I run into that very small percentage of his range that is made hands, that was slow playing, and I do wind up getting stacked right there. But we battled back in this session and made up for it later on in smaller pots, but that was the biggest one of the evening. What do you guys think about this play? Was my thought process correct here? Look at this hand not knowing that he had sevens and tell me what you guys think was the correct play or what you would have done in this situation. Still at the 100 NL, we now have pocket threes on the button. We get an open raise to $4 from under the gun, and we get a call from under the gun +1. I just call here in position against these two players and wind up flopping middle set. We get the player under the gun leading out for half pot, and we get a call from under the gun +1. I just call here. This is a very dry board. Don't want to push any hands out of the pot that would be following through on the turn or river. There's now 34.50 in the pot, and the under the gun player jams all in. Under the gun +1 folds. This is an easy call for us. We call with the set, and we have this player drawing dead going into the river, taking down a pot of $190. Now we have ace queen in the hijack seat. We get an open limp, and we isolate, and we get a 3-bet from the big blind, who has a pretty polarized range when 3-betting. We get a call from under the gun, and I don't mind seeing a flop here in position against against both of these players. So I call, and we wind up flopping top pair, queen kicker. There's 39.50 in the pot. Skippy 299 is pot committed here, only 32.14 in his stack. First clan has 88.50 in the stack, almost pot committed here. First clan checks back, and Skippy bets for 25.02. I just call here, and I'm assuming we're good now that first clan is out of the hand. Skippy is kind of a fishy player, has a 6 and 63 pre-flop numbers, 63 VPIP, and jams the rest of his stack in. I make a call here, and we are up against a king 5. We have to avoid a 5 or a king in the river, which we do, and we take down this pot of almost $104. Now we have pocket aces. This is at a 50 NL table. We get an open raise from under the gun +1, and we get a 3-bet from the cutoff. I put in a 4-bet of 10.50 here, a little bit larger than 2.5x, and we get a call from the cutoff. Flop is 10 high rainbow. I lead out for a 1/3 pot size bet, and we get a jam. I'm calling here with the aces. Aces against kings, have to avoid a king, which we do, and we take down that pot of a little bit less than $100. But on the opposite end of that spectrum, I had kings a few times, which ran into aces. One of these times was in this hand. Luckily, it was at only a 25 NL table. Otherwise, my loss total would have been much higher for the evening. You can see how that one wound up. 3-bet, 4-bet jam, call, aces against kings. We lose that pot. That was a pretty big one. 116 big blinds at the 25 NL. Here we go again. 25 NL. We get an open bet. And just a call from under the gun +1 with the aces. Couple more callers in there. I put in a 375 3-bet. And we get a jam from under the gun +1. That was a slow play. Looks like aces to me. But I'm not going to be getting rid of the kings here in this spot. If we run into aces, so be it. And it is aces up against kings. And the aces hold up. The kings lose once again. Now we have queens at the 50 NL table. Under the gun +1, we open raise to 150, and we get 3-bet from the player to our left. 3-bet percentage from this player is over 6%. That's pretty wide. So I 4-bet, and we get a 5-bet jam. He's pretty short stacked at only $32. That is 64 big blinds on this table. I can see a lot of hands, pretty much jacks and up doing this. So I think we play pretty well against that range with the queens, and it is only $22 for us to call here into a pot of 44. We're almost getting 2-to-1 odds. So I do make the call, and once again we have a cooler. We are queens up against kings. Queens can't get there, and kings take down the pot, and we lose another one. Now we have queens in the big blind. Folds around to the cutoff, who open raises to $2, and we get a min 3-bet from what looks like a pretty fishy player on the button. I 4-bet here to $10. We get a call from the cutoff, and we get a call from the button. Flop comes out 7, 7, 8, 2 hearts, 30.50 in the pot. I put in 16 here, and we get a call from the button. The turn is a king of hearts. That's kind of a scary card for us. I check back, but I'm going to be check calling here, and the button checks back as well. And we get an 8 of clubs on the river. Again, kind of a scary card here. I check back, thinking maybe we can induce some bluffs from this player. Maybe I could have gone for some thin value there, but he checks back, and we take down this pot of 62.50. In a similar type hand, we have pocket kings under the gun, open raise to 3x, and we get 3-bet by the cutoff, who plays a very polarized range again. 3-bets with only 52% premium hands. So I 4-bet here, and we get a call. I 4-bet because I saw this player only folds to 4-bets 4% of times. So we're going to get a lot of hands less than kings to follow along here. If he's 3-betting that wide and only folding the 4-bets that small of a percent, we're going to build a huge pot with a good hand. We're ready pot committed. There's 47.50 in the pot. Flop is 10, 10, 8 rainbow. I lead out for 19. Trying to induce some calls here. I figure our kings are going to be good a lot of the time, and he does make a call. The turn is the 9 of diamonds. There's now an 85.50 in the pot. We have 58 behind. I put the rest in, thinking there's no way this player can fold here. We're going to get value from jacks, queens. Maybe we can even get value from hands like ace jack, ace queen that would be chasing a river here and feel that they are pot committed. We are, of course, going to lose to pocket 8s or any 10, possible pocket 9s, but those only make up a small portion of this player's range. He does make a fold, and we take down this pot, not having the showdown. Pretty pretty good pot. Would have liked to see this player chase something, but we take it down. Bad beat of the evening came on this hand. Luckily, we are at a 10 NL table. Really wasn't even that bad of a bad beat. You can question some of the raises and calls and play of this player, but not that bad. We have pocket aces. 3-bet to this player's open. This player is playing very short stacked at just over 50 big blinds and calls pre-flop. We see a flop of 6 high, 2 tone, 2 spades out there. There's 285 in the pot. This player is 371 in their stack. Going to be getting it all in. They check. I bet $1.20. Try to induce some calls here, and we get a re-raise. Min re-raise. I'm jamming in. He makes a call. He's got a gut shot and 2 overcards. Backdoor flush draw. He needs a club, an 8, or a 3 on the river to take this one down. Tons of outs. Hits the 8. Takes that one down. We lose with the aces, but those are the plays that we want players to move in with, and we're going to be winning those a majority of the time, and we're going to be making money in the long run against players who make these plays. So it works out perfectly. We just didn't add any chips to our stack this time. We lost some money, but it pays off in the long run. And that is why we were running negative variance. You can see that the net 1 wound up being way less than the EV net 1. So that means we were playing pretty good poker. Besides that one big bluff that we put in that didn't get through, it would have been a much better session had that bluff gone through. So not that the entire thing rode on that bluff, but it definitely hurt us, and I think we recovered pretty well from it. Head down to the video description for links to America's Card Room and Hold'em Manager, which is the program that we use to review our poker sessions, as well as our on-table HUD while playing, so we can get all the stats and know how to play against these players. You can get a 30-day free trial by clicking the link down in the video description. Hit that subscribe button if you guys have not done that yet. We have daily content coming out, and stay up to date on the 100K challenge. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and leave your comments below. I want to know how you guys would play some of those hands. Would you be putting in that bluff there? Did you see that 7s coming? What do you guys think of America's Card Room? Let me know in the comment section below. And I will be back very soon with a new video, but until then, I'll see you guys out on the virtual felt.